7th day of this ordeal, I said to some friends, he's not in any area where we have a sphere of influence. Somewhere where people don't know us. And we were looking at the map, and I said, she's in the project. Because I don't have any customers in the project.
Right.
And at that point, I also was going on my intuition as a mother that she was not, I felt she wasn't harmed. I felt that she was in trouble.
Okay.
That's two different things.
Yeah,
She wasn't harmed, but she was in trouble.
Wow.
Kids get in trouble and don't know how to call you back. Because you know how you punk somebody and then you end up breaking a leg? So this has gone overboard. Alright, so we, at that point, which we had the majority of the people that was looking for our kid, I would say 75% were white at that point. We had to go to Memphis and get us some hood rats.
yeah, good fathers up. We know about some hood rats, right?
Yeah, we had to go get some folks that knew how to
get in the hood,
navigate the project.
Right.
And I called a client of mine who had a business in Memphis called Second. He's a moving company. His name is Charles Ewing. And Charles Ewing was part owner of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay.
The people were confused. If nobody was asking me a whole bunch of questions, they were like, "What you mean?" Because I don't bother people for anything. This is my kid, and I need you. This is different. So he said, "What you mean?" I said, "Well, we need some guys to help us out in the project." I said, "Because right now these white folks can't go up in the project. It ain't gonna work." And we needed someone at night. By that time, we had brought in my brother-in-law who worked at the White House, who was FBI. We had brought in my brother-in-law who worked for PPI, the Bureau of Investigation. Every police officer that we knew that was friends with us took off. So we understood that what we were dealing with was when you're dealing with the police, if you don't know how to deal with the police, then you're in trouble.
Right.
If you don't know how to deal with the media, the message that you're trying to convey, please help me find my kid, can get lost in the shuffle. And it was very important that as a black kid, that we showed, of course, that black men were concerned about what a kid was.
Okay.
And a lot of times, when you see black kids missing on TV, you see big women, you know, and it's like, no. You got to show that this kid is loved by everybody. And then we had the community to take ownership by asking directly, can you help us? So the church became a volunteer base, and then we manned in the office and everything. Right. On the 7th day, when the guys came back from Memphis, we put them up at the Sheraton Hotel, and the very next day we got what we call chatter. Yes. And we were able to, that chatter we were hearing, okay, so in this area of town. So we moved everybody to the other side of town. Then we started canvassing again. When we did that, within 2 days, we located it, we narrowed it down to a specific area. By that time, we had photos on the news. We had video tape of her going into McDonald's. So by that time, you know, people were working with us, and everyone that I know that was in the media and knew me personally was saying, okay, how many times you want us to run this in the sequence of the news? So I had 3 channels, you know, ABC, NBC, CBS. Wow. And those local stations were alternating running it. That way we coordinated. If you didn't see it on channel 2 at 6 a.m., you will see it on channel 4 at 7 a.m. And then you saw it on channel 5 at 8 a.m. And that way we had 6, 7, and 8 time frame covered. then when it got to noon, we had 11, 12, and 1. In the afternoon, we had the 4, 5, and 6 o'clock hour. And then everyone had the 10 o'clock cover. So that was strategic. But how many parents do that format? How many parents know that you coordinate with the media and say, okay, I'm going to give you this story, and then I'm going to give you this story, and then I'm going to give you this story? We don't hear that. We don't hear that kind of education on how to help get our kids back. Well, fast forward, the police started working against us because there was so much outrage and so much anger toward the police that one, they lost the police report, two, they put up a you know, even when I see that now, I kept that just kind of remind me how good God is. And looking at that, it's like, you know what? It truly is a world of, you've got to know people in the right places, because if I was counting on them to get a poster out,
forget about it.
Of another kid on there. It wasn't my kid. And we were like, how the hell are you gonna, anyway, so. So we were now dealing with where the police became antagonistic toward us.
So you got
that we were doing things, and they would say, well, that's our job, and we was like, we're not leaving our kid up to you. You couldn't even file a police report. You didn't even send out an APB to the 7th day. Well, to make a long story short, we did find our kid. She was in the project. She was babysitting somebody's kid. They knew that we were looking for her. They were waiting for us to offer a reward. So that's my story. Now, when I became an advocate, when you go through something like that, first, we take total responsibility for our kid and her actions. But what it brought me into a world of, I didn't know that many kids, man. First of all, I had never heard of that. First, like, you got your whipping. Well, you just stick your whipping. But, you know, I didn't realize that, one, 33% of the kids that are reported that are missing between the ages of 14, 15, 16, 17 are black girls.
14 through 17, right?
Right. My daughter was right, you know, on the cusp of that age.
And that's all. I'm sorry to cut you off.
That's missing and never found.
In the United States.
In the U.S., right. A third of them are in that range, and they are black children. I didn't even realize that. And as I got involved and got more deep in this, and when you're out there looking for your kid, guess what? You find everybody else's kid or somebody else
right.
Tell you, well, you know, I didn't want to tell you this, but when I was 13, I ran away, and this is what happened to me. And you have things that where you start off with, yeah, I'm mad and I'm pissed off at my parents, and then you end up going through some stuff or having more tragic things start happening, because no 13-year-old needs to be on the street.
Right.
And I thank God that we had one that was over there babysitting, you know, but we still went through something. We still went through a experience that changed all of us. And then I started seeing how many kids in Tennessee that were missing, and the police never put out an APB on it. In 1 year, over 2,000 kids. And I just was shocked. I was like, what? I mean, does this happen? And we got involved with an agency called the Oasis Center. And at that point, you know, people are, you know, they're trying to help you. They'll say, well, call Nancy Grace. Well,
okay, here it comes, here it comes.
That Nancy Grace had a specific agenda. And her specific agenda was to profile, and I learned this, and I watched it, and I monitored it, and I know it for true. Her agenda is to be an advocate for some children, not all kids. And Nancy has a fixation